Welcome to another edition of Show After the Show. I love that we get to know the people that make this community so great. Dr. Leon Buffaloe is returning to Show After the Show from Grace Internal Medicine. And here we are with June. June happens to be National Men's Health Month. And man, I tell you, guys have a hard time getting to the doctor, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I'll be honest. I'll just say that for years until just recently, because of the health things that I just recently went through, it was hard for me to get to the doctor. Call it anxiety. Call it, I think I was too macho. But why do you think men are like this?
Well, if I had to change this month from Men's Health Awareness Month, I would probably change it to take the male figure in your life to the doctor month. Check on your grandpa, check on your dad, your brother, your uncle. Find out when was the last time they've been to the doctor, when had they had their annual physical. And I have seen more and more of that men think it's macho to not go to the physician. So normally this time of month, this time of year in June, we talk about men's health topics such as, prostate cancer screening, when to have that done. We talk about testosterone, low T. We talk about bedroom issues. But this month, I would like to talk more about what we discussed earlier, as far as at least going to the doctor. So I would say two things. Number one, show up. And number two, self-care. Showing up is half the battle. If I can get more and more men to come in just for their annual physicals, we can prevent a lot of these things, a lot of these diseases that I see when they show up and they haven't been to the physician.
Yeah, there was a couple of people that Dr. Buffaloe was telling us about. Tell me about the guy that walked in knowing that he'd had diabetes one day.
Oh, yes. So this was a gentleman that I had been sort of going back and forth with, trying to treat his diabetes, and he just wouldn't come in. He wouldn't be honest. And finally, his family pushed him to come in and to be truthful. And for some reason, it's hard for us as men to open up and to talk about our health. And when he finally admitted, and it had been quite some time I had been treating him, he admitted to me what he had been doing as far as his diet and as far as his non-compliance with his medication. And when he presented, he was in a very bad way. His blood sugar was really out of control, and I had to admit him to the hospital, and he didn't make it. He passed away. And the end of that story was I got a phone call from his grandson that next week, who also had diabetes, and he was almost in tears. And he was telling me, he said, "Dr. Buffaloe, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. You've been telling my grandpa for years to come see you, for years to take better care of his diabetes. Now I see what will happen if you don't take care of your diabetes."
Then you had a gentleman who came in just for a normal checkup. I mean, the perfect picture look of health.
Right. Yeah. This guy, he was very proactive about his health. Beautiful wife, beautiful family, lots of grandchildren, and he was having absolutely no problems. He just said, "Dr. Buffaloe, I would like to know, how can I check my heart out? No chest pain, no shortness of breath, no exertional chest pain or anything." I said, "Well, there's a simple test that you can do. It's out of pocket. You can pay to have the coronary arteries looked at to see if they have any excessive calcium buildup. And this test only looks at the outside of the arteries. But if it's pretty high, then it's an indication we need to get you to cardiology." So he went to have this test, and it was elevated, sent him to cardiology. And I didn't hear from him for a while. And then I got this Facebook post sent to me through my messenger. And he ended up having a 5-vessel bypass and a valve replaced. And he was recovering well. And that really shocked me, because I would have never expected that. He had some risk factors, but really no complaints, but him being proactive about his health, him showing up, knowing that he had a huge responsibility, a huge family to take care of. He was very proactive, and that prevented a tragedy from occurring.
Saved his life.
Yes, it did.
Wow. Is this the same thing as that could have been prevented for Tim Russert?
Oh, for who?
Tim Russert, the gentleman who was on NBC many years ago, and he was a political analyst.
Yes.
And he just kind of died.
Yeah,
and they said if they would have had that kind of test, it would have saved him.
Yeah. Well, that test has been around for a while. And There's a possibility, I tell, if I have a healthy gentleman that comes in absolutely no problems and they want to know heart health, I just turned 50. I said, I'm going to have one done. I'm gonna pay the $150 just to have my coronaries looked at. And
Mm-hmm.
it for me, it's worth it. Now, it's not something that's recommended by the FDA or anything like that, but it is a test that's becoming more and more popular for men if you just want to know the status of your heart. It's a great test. It's called a coronary artery calcium score.
And for $150,
Yeah,
I mean,
it,
wow, well worth it.
it's worth it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you say men are a big influence on everybody else when it comes to healthcare or self-care and the rest of the family.
Yeah, well, what showing up is a part of self care. This gentleman showing up, worried about his heart health, knowing that he had a huge family responsibility, that
Mm.
was huge for him. So just showing up is a part of self care. The other thing I see a lot is that men, work, work, work. My dad told me to work, 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 and if we need more, then we work more. And they don't really take time for themselves. And I'm often telling men, look, you're moving into your retirement age. You don't want to spend your retirement coming to see me. And you don't want to spend your retirement that you've been saving all these years on your health care. So I do try to get, and this is for anybody really, but mainly I'm having to push my male patients to take the time out to do the things that you like to do. Fishing, like to go golfing. Some men like to go to the spa. There's nothing wrong with that. Getting a massage, getting your nails done, and you laugh. And I was sort of the macho man. I didn't want any of that done.
Uh-huh.
And my wife, for Father's Day, she purchased a gift certificate to a masseuse, and I was like, don't really want it. And I went in, and it's like a touch of heaven, And so now
Yeah.
I go on a regular. It really helps me to de-stress, And so I have some men come in. It wound up very tight. They're not asking for anything. Their wives are. Give them something, put them on something to calm them down, and when you get to talking to them, you're like, hey, what do you like to do? Well, I used to like to fish or go golf. And so I'm like, you need to do those things. Take the time now to invest in your health. And self-care is huge.
That is huge. Since it's June, check on the man in your life.
I like that.
Yeah, do that big time. Dr. Leon Buffaloe, Grace International Medicine, always good to see you. We have links provided for you to get to Dr. Buffaloe right here on this Show After the Show page. And we'll see you again soon for another episode of Show After the Show.